10 oldest arts in the world, although it's often the first school program to be cut and is generally undervalued by the majority of the population. Art is one of the most important aspects of human culture, long before any evidence of language emerged. Some of the oldest artifacts that shed light on human history have been works of art. The world's oldest art is tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands in some cases, years old. These works of art show how our culture has evolved over the millennia and range from abstract lines and dots to more complex human and animal figurines. New discoveries are being made every year, so these are the oldest known pieces of art that have been uncovered. Venus of Hull Fels, c. 35000 to 40,000 years ago. Location: Hull Fels, Schelklingen, Germany. Type of art: Venus, female, figurine. Materials used: carved mammoth. The Venus of Hull Fels is the most famous Venus figurine ever discovered, and it is the oldest undisputed depiction of a human being. There are a few other Venuses on this list, but they are controversial. The Hull Fels Venus was found over a decade ago in Germany and has been dated to between 35,000 to 40,000 BC. The Venus of Hull Fels is a very small figure carved out of mammoth ivory. It is less than 2.5 inches, 60 millimeters long. While the figure very clearly depicts a voluptuous woman, the figure has large breasts and a womanly shape to shamanistic rituals, and there is no head. Instead, there is a ring where the head should be, and archaeologists believe this means the figure was worn as a necklace. Due to the way the Venus of Hull Fels was carved, scientists believe the figure may have represented female fertility or been related to shamanistic rituals. Lion Man of the Hohensteinstadel. Year created: c. 38000 to 40,000 BC. Location: Hohensteinstadel, Swabian Jura, Germany. Type of art: Lion Man figurine. Materials used: carved piece of mammoth ivory using a flintstone. The Lion Man of Hohensteinstadel, or Lowenmensch, lion human, is one of the most fascinating pieces of prehistoric art ever discovered. As the figurine's name suggests, the Lion Man depicts a lion's head on a man's body. The Lowenmensch was carved from a piece of mammoth ivory and is widely considered the oldest uncontested example of figurative art. It is also the oldest known zoomorphic, animal-shaped sculpture in the world. While most of the Lion Man sculpture was uncovered in 1939, more pieces were discovered in 2009. A few years later, from 2012 to 2013, the Lion Man was carefully reconstructed and these new pieces were added. Currently, the Lion Man is on display at the Ull Museum in Germany. In more recent years, the gender of the Lion Man has been called into question. Some scientists have argued that the lion head of the figure is actually a Hohenlohen, female European cave lion. 8. Borneo cave art. Year created: c. 40000 years ago. Location: Borneo, Kalimantan, Indonesia. Type of art: wild cattle drawing. Materials used: ochre on cave. Recently, in late 2018, archaeologists discovered what is now the world's oldest figurative art in a cave in Borneo, Indonesia. The cave art shows pictures of wild cattle made with red ochre and has been dated to over 40,000 years ago, possibly up to 52,000 years ago. While many of the other art on this list is older, the images/engravings depicted are abstract lines and drawings and do not necessarily represent anything the way these cattle drawings do. Like many newer archaeological finds, the cave art in Borneo was dated using a newer technique, flowstone dating, rather than radiocarbon dating. According to archaeologists, the date of the Borneo cave art shows that humans were shifting from abstract to more figurative art around the same time in both Asia and Europe. The cattle drawings were not the only works of art found in the Borneo cave. There are more recent paintings of human figures and hand stencils dating between 13,000 to 20,000 years ago. 7. La Pharisee cave cupules. Year created: c. 40,000 to 60,000 BC. Location: Les Izes, Dordogne, France. Type of art: Cupules, cup-shaped depressions carved into rock surface. Materials used. Hammerstones used to carve out cup shapes on rock. The La Pharisee Cave Complex is one of the oldest archaeological sites in France and is home to one of the oldest known art forms, cave cupules. These cup-shaped depressions may not be as pretty as some of the other cave art out there, but they're just as important for shedding light on the early cultural practices of early humans. The cupules at La Pharisee have been dated between 40,000 to 60,000 BC. Unfortunately, because cupules are not as nice as cave murals and paintings, little research has been done on why they may have been made and how important these symbols may have been to ancient humans. Cupules have been found on every continent, although they are not as old as the cupules. La Pharisee Cave has numerous paintings, animal figurines, and rock engravings, the most fascinating of which is believed to be a depiction of a vulva point. Deepcliff eggshell engravings. Year created. C.60,000 BCE. Location: Deepcliff Rock Shelter, Western Cape, South Africa. Type of art: eggshell engravings. Materials used: ostrich eggs. About a decade ago, in early 2010, scientists revealed that they had uncovered ancient ostrich eggshell fragments covered in etched symbols at the Deepcliff Rock Shelter in South Africa. The eggshell engravings were dated to about 60,000 BCE and have been called abstract graphic designs. Archaeologists found that the engravings had changed over time and two main patterns emerged. The older design shows a hatch band similar to a train track, while the newer engravings consist of parallel lines. Researchers also noted that the different colors of the eggshell fragments were mostly caused by the shells being accidentally dropped into a fire and broken. There is some evidence that the Deepcliff eggshells had punctured openings, which means the empty eggs were probably used as containers. Cave of Maltraviso. Year created: 64,000 to 66,700 years old. Location: Casares, Extremadura, Spain. Type of art: hand stencils on cave walls. Materials used: read the hand stencils in the Cave of Maltraviso in Spain have changed scientists' understandings on history of human art. The paintings in Maltraviso are so old, between 64,000 to 7,000 years old, that they could not have been made by Homo sapiens. Instead, researchers believe that the hand stencils were made by Neanderthals, although there is no direct evidence other than the time period to suggest this. Maltraviso's hand stencils are currently the oldest known cave paintings in the world and were made using a red ochre pigment. The pigments were dated using a newer method called uranium-thorium dating, which is more accurate than the better-known radiocarbon dating point. Two other caves in Spain, La Paisiega and Ardales, also have cave paintings made with the same red ochre used in the Cave of Maltraviso, and have also been dated to over 60,000 years ago. 4. Blombos Cave Rock Art. Year created: C.70,000 to 75,000 BC. Location: Blombos Private Nature Reserve, Heidelberg, Western Cape, South Africa. Type of art: rock engravings. Materials used: ochre crayons on Cave. The Blombos Cave in South Africa is a treasure trove of prehistoric art which dates back to at least 70,000 BC. The art of Blombos Cave is the earliest known art ever discovered in Africa and predates other early cave art by tens of thousands of years. The most important discovery in the Blombos Cave was two pieces or rocks decorated with crosshatch designs that were made with ochre crayons. Archaeologists discovered hundreds of piles of ochre that had been ground up and turned into these crayons. While scientists believe that these crayons were made specifically for design purposes, no actual cave art/paintings have been discovered yet in Blombo besides the rock carvings. Shell beads dating to around 70,000 to 75,000 BC were found in Blombos Cave. Venus of Tantan. Year created: C.200,000 to 500,000 BC. Location: Tantan, Morocco. Type of art: Venus, female, figurine. Materials used: quartzite rock like the Venus of Barakatram, which dates to around the same time period. The Venus of Tantan's status as a piece of art has been called into question. The Venus of Tantan and the Venus of Barakatram are often mentioned together because their existence and dating to over 200,000 BC provides evidence that these figures may have been made by early human ancestors and not just natural phenomena.